Good afternoon. Welcome back to VP4 Online. We're back again for some more matches in this year's VP4 2020 World Straight Pool Championships. It's a busy day. There are 4 matches on today. One has already been completed.
It has at 50. Afternoon.
Good afternoon. I've got tactical advice for you, Hazad. I am about to administer that tactical advice. Welcome. We've got, as I say, 4 matches today. One's already gone through. I don't know what the final score is, but thank you to Semi-Pro. He's recorded it. It's on his channel. I'll probably end up watching it tomorrow because I won't have enough time today. But Cobra has gone through against Stub. Stub quitted again like a little girl, and we are here for the first match this afternoon, starting about 5 minutes time, and that's going to be between Fast Eddie and LS3 on the one loss side, race to 150, and that match is not that one. Where the hell is it? That's the match that's later tonight at 7 PM on the one loss side. McClarkey and Mooncake should be a good match. The match that we're watching this afternoon is Fast Eddie and LS3, and the one thing I'm going to say about Fast Eddie is about time he made a score, because he's well capable and he's made nothing really of any mention so far. We know LS3 can score, still third in the high run list, the top 10 with 94, so that match is going to start in a minute or two. And further down, sorry, not further down there, well, we know the match above, the one I mentioned, the Mooncake McClarkey match, and then over here on the winner's side at 4 PM, that will be the match between Semi-Pro and Hazad. Now, talking about tactics for Hazad, the same tips I said to Potman, and I talk about it during the stream. If you go into the match with a discipline, and the discipline is straightforward, when you break, or if the balls are broken, when you come to the table, you need to have a look at those, lay the balls, find out where your break balls are if there's any, get rid of the blocking balls when you can, and most importantly, concentrate on those last 2 balls. Once you've made that decision for your break shot, think about that second last ball, because that's the important one that's going to make it a lot easier to get on that break ball. If you stick to that discipline every time you're at the table, you'll be a lot more consistent.
@_sway.
And Potman played his best in his last match, and here's hoping Hazad does the same. If he's going to be competitive, he has to keep it tight, he has to do no numptiness, and he has to follow the discipline.
He has at 50
for this tournament.
Feeling disciplined and up for it.
You've got to be, and it's got to be 100% all the way through. Keep it tight, because Semi-Pro will tear you apart in the scoring side, but he can't score anything if he can't see a ball. So think about it. Nothing's worth the risk if there's a far easier safety shot. So that's what you have to think about. And as long as you keep that in mind all the way through the match, then you've got a chance. Plus the fact though, when you do get in, you have to score. 10s and 12s are no good. You have to build on it. You've got to make scores when you've got those opportunities. If there's 8 or 9 balls in the open, that's what you should be taking. You shouldn't be trying to blast things open if there are balls there to be taken, because you know what can happen. You can easily lock onto a ball, freeze onto a ball, and have no further shots on the 5 or 6 remaining open balls. So stick to a discipline. If you keep that in mind all the time, then you'll play a lot better. Much better. Well, good afternoon to all the latecomers. I don't think only bedheads arrived, unless there's others there who are keeping it quiet. I've got the text to speech on, but if that numpty arrives, we'll kill that easily and solve that problem. So what we got? The room should be going
nomad.
Up right now.
I'll read. Deist nomad. Stub rage quit again.
Yeah, can somebody
_sway.
Can somebody tell me the score? Tell me the final score. It was 200 to what? What did Stub finish on? I'll watch it tomorrow. There we go. Room is up. Let's get in. I probably have to change the cloth colour. In fact, they're probably lagging off. Oh no, well that's good. LS3's in. Settings, miscellaneous, blue. So like I said, Fast Eddie is the one that I'm expecting to raise his game, because again, this is last chance saloon as far as staying in the tournament goes, so he's going to have to step up his quality of play. He's been none too impressive so far. He knows it, and we're expecting big things from him. So here we go with the lag. Haven't a clue who's who again, but the one in the top has won the lag, and that is LS3, and it's Fast Eddie who's going to break off. I hope the audio is okay.
Tommy Pressure. Hi. Master Power. Total FBS I called and get nothing going, was my own fault, Cobra wasn't class.
Well,
Master Power. Should won that 2 hours before.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's all I'm saying. And that's a good break from Fast Eddie.
_sway. Stub got 165, I think.
165. So that's the break with the inside English to bring the cue ball back into the back of the pack. Still a risky shot, but if you can get it right, you're not going to leave anything on. Well, the thing is, Stub, if Cobra wasn't class, what does that make you?
Master Power. All basteds will be muted so I can win Tournament K. Or has... I was going to say whether... no, you can't get to that 14. That's stuck against the 6. _sway. LOL, have the tables turned, Stub? Tongue sticking out. Potman 66. Afternoon chaps.
Good afternoon.
Master Power. Not giving noobs chances to get in my head anymore.
Nobody's listening to you now, Stub.
Shit. Pot calls the kettle black.
Well, he seems insistent on trying to run this 14 into the 12. He's took his time. Where's the cue ball though? Disaster. He took the risk.
Master Power. You'll FC who wins
And
K.
he scratched. Again, these pockets are more than welcoming for the loose ball. And big mistake straight away. So LS3's won the safety battle. Now can she take advantage and get a score? Now one move would be to get over to that 9 ball and just try and finish in the middle there. It's a bit of a small target area, but there is a target area, and get this thing to work. It would be there at some point if you can get in that gap and pot the 6. Pot the 6, you can open the balls. It's on Semi-Pro's channel. He's gave me the link on Facebook, so I can watch it. As I say, I won't be able to watch it today. I'll be too busy.
Radecki.
I'll watch it tomorrow.
Good afternoon.
So welcome to everybody. Thank you for joining.
Bedhead_sway. Is it with commentary?
No, he hasn't quite got the bottle yet to grace us with his experience. Well, LS3's visit's short and sweet.
He has it 50.
That was way too tight.
Semi-recorded it wit.
So, in one sense, Fast Eddie gets off the hook. Still in -1, but he's got the chance immediately here to do what I said, although he's a bit square in the 6, but he can do it off the 15.
How is that possible? Semi is always commenting. Winky face. Dea ist nomad. Cool.
Oh dear. Now that is the type of thing that you cannot do. That is sloppy, careless. It was not a difficult shot, and quite clearly he's not looking at the pot at all. To miss something like that, that was not difficult, and all of these 3 points straight into LS3's pockets. And there's a break ball, so this could be painful. There's nothing better, particularly in this tournament, than watching your opponent smack a ball that you should have potted every day of the week. And if you can get in and get 40 and 50, that makes it more painful. Most certainly. So we've got the 2 ball up the table, and I suppose the 2 ball, I mean the 15 ball or the 8 ball are good to get on the 3. But they're probably better to get on the 3 from this side, because that makes it so simple, because all you're doing is now how does this work? I was trying to get this to do something. It does things. Yeah, it does that. That's what I was trying to do, get it to do the wee lines, because all you need to do is just roll through, and if you roll through you can get the good angle on the 3. Now she's gone slightly the wrong side of this 15 ball, so it's going to be a little stun draw. Oh no, it is going to be inside. That's clever, because that's what I was talking about. I thought she was just going to stun across for the 8 in the same pocket, but that is not bad, and that is how simple it is. I hope Hazad's watching this and paying attention. In fact, she's going dead straight though. I mean, that is the simplest shot to get to the 3. Don't watch this part, Hazad, because you don't want to do that and end up dead straight, but that was the easiest way to get onto that 3 ball and give yourself the nice little angle. So again, Fast Eddie, he's had 2 escapes here. LS3's only got the 10 points, and to have that
not
damage,
taking time.
Well, that's another thing,
Hotman
Larry.
66.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Wasted opportunity that.
Took the words out of my mouth. Every other, the last 2 or 3 matches I've watched, we've seen players playing, and I mean Larry as well, playing steady, not rushing, taking their time, studying the table, thinking about shots, and getting the job done and making scores. And LS3's not going to do that if she's rushing at 100 miles an hour. I mean, you've got a big shot clock there, Fast Eddie's already used one of his extensions, but you've got a minute to play a shot, and that's more than enough time to get it clear in your head what you're going to do. But LS3 needs to take it down a bit.
Bad shot there too.
Got to take it down. Fast Eddie, well, he's got the escape route. He can just see the one. And as I said earlier, he has to cut out the crap, as they say, because he's played a poor shot already. Really poor. And he's got a chance to stun into these balls right now. Right into that 10 ball, and he might even go forward and hit the 14. That would be a good idea. If he hits the 10 and clips the 14, he's opened everything here. It looks dead on line to be able to do that. There we go.
Decky.
There you are.
Just checked Cobra's Brayakov against Stubb. Failing semi-break shot again. Tongue sticking out.
Well, you see, Fast Eddie broke in this match, and he got the break correct, but you can't guarantee it all the time. If you get it right, not a problem. The cue ball's going to miss everything and go into the back of the pack, but if you get it wrong, you're going to get a double kiss off the probably the actual break ball that you're hitting. And Semi did that in his last match. And it doesn't matter what break you have in straight pull. There's nothing guaranteed that it's going to work 100%. But Fast Eddie now has done what I said. He's got the little clip that opened to 14 in the 9, and everything is there. Every single ball sitting with no problem. And the decision now would be probably the 8 or the 5. That depends on, again, right now he should immediately be thinking where he's going to get to this break ball. He's going to hit the 14 and maybe push it towards this left corner, and that will take care of it. But how's he going to get to the break shot? We don't know what one he's chosen, but again, the simplest one would be running in the 15 and running through to more or less where the 15 is, and then you can play the break shot. Guaranteed you're going to hit the pack. That's one way. The other way would be either running from that side in the 4 or this side in the 4 and running through to here. So again, you've got a break shot and you're guaranteed to hit the pack. So he's got a choice from both sides here, and he's got a ball, the 4 ball, which will give him that choice. He's still got to deal with the 14 though. And looking at it now, it looks like the 8 is going to go, so it will probably be the 5. 8 ball, then 14. But he wants to be able to then, from that position, he wants to be able to play this 14 and come back for the 4. He needs to go off the rail for a start. So my thinking would be to roll this 4 in and come through to something like that line. He might see it a different way, but to me the shot would be to draw it back, but you're never guaranteed you're going to get good. If he draws back too far, he's there, and then he's going to have to maybe go to the rail and come out. So it all hinges on what way he sees it, and immediately he sees it totally different from me. And now he's got the same problem everybody has. When you have to start going to 1 and 2 rails to get to the break shot, the break angle, there's an awful lot can go wrong, and he's dead straight in the 14, I think. It needs to keep going. It needs to keep going. Well, he's going to have to thump this to get a clip in the corner and get some action to open them. He doesn't want to just feather them, he has to hit it hard. Now how's his luck? Well, he's okay. Now, he doesn't want to get greedy here because there's danger with this 6 ball. He doesn't want to be getting greedy and trying to open those balls from this shot, because he can easily scratch through into the same pocket. there's balls there to be taken, and that stun certainly prevents the cue ball from running through. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and if that 8 ball goes at the back of the pack, there's 8 balls to be picked off. And if you think that far ahead and you did it that way, and you took the last of those balls as the 8 ball, then if you could go through like that up to here, or there, sorry, and then take the 2, you've dealt with the problem, because the 2 would then open up everything. That's how far ahead you should be thinking. You have to think your route plan for those 3, 4, 5 balls, especially if you've got all those balls in the open where you don't need to do anything. But when you're looking at a cluster like this and you see that 2 ball sitting there, that's a gilt edge opportunity to open them. If you go too high in the 8 ball, too low like that, then that's even better, because then you could nudge them from there. So you might even try it off this, which is probably not a great idea, but at the end of the day, he's got an opportunity to open them from this 4. And a bonus ball of the 1 ball, and he's created a problem. Now he's got a problem to deal with, and he might try the big draw off this 3 ball. The 3 ball, well, you can't really miss the 3, but is the angle in the 3 too much that he's going to draw back and miss these this 15 and 2, or can he touch something just to open it? Well, he's looking at the 9, but if this 3 ball can give him enough to get a hit on this 15 and 2, he really needs to try and get it. He's got to watch he doesn't miss them. Well, he hasn't taken a chance. I can't see how he's going to pot anything here on these 2 balls, and therefore I can't see how he's going to progress this rack. But maybe he was worried about drawing off the 3, because the angle he had in the 3 was touch and go, whether he would hit anything or just miss the 2 and drop into the pocket and scratch. Maybe that's what he was scared of. But I'm afraid he's running out of shot. Now this, he's got to take the risk. I mean, he's going to cut the 10. He's surely got to hit this 15 and 2. He can't leave them sit there. Got to go for it now. And the cue ball running loose, but he's got the problem dealt with. And the fact that he's just clipped the 15 has actually worked out great, because he's now got the 2 ball as the break shot. So the run is 24, and he would much rather that was 54. If he can get something like that on the board, you know what I keep saying, once you get those points gathered and your opponent's made a hash of a visit that they've just had, that is stacking the pressure on them to produce the goods in their next visit. Now he needs to be careful here, because if he's going to draw and stun across to the left, he needs to watch that middle pocket. He could get too juicy here and end up scratching. Get too much fizz into the cue ball, things can go wrong. Of course, this is a big blind pocket cut, this 15. So he's thinking about both things, the pot as well as where the cue ball's going. Now that needs to keep running. And he's... well, that's not bad at all. Now, looking at where the 2 is, the 2 is near the bottom of the pack. So if he goes inside the 2 ball from this 9, he looks as if he's drawing back. Yeah, he's going to leave the wide angle rather than going inside, and I'll tell you why, because the chances of actually hitting a pack from inside are pretty slim, because that 2 ball's so low. So now it all hinges on the break, and again, he doesn't need to do anything with the cue ball, he just needs to pot the 2. And that cue ball will maybe, well, if it doesn't hit a ball solid in the face, it will run off the side of that pack and come up the table. And the line off the side of that pack is this pocket. If it fizzes off it, well, he's stunned right into them. How's his luck? He's got a cut in the 14, not the 14, the 1. He's got a 4 ball if he needs to take it, but he should just be running into that 3 ball off this 1. Just a gentle pot, and I'll run on to the 3, and then he can take care of the 10 or the 3. That would be the shot. If he's going up table, I'm looking to see where his next ball is. Well, he can get the 15, can get the 11. So he's got work to do here though. He can't take anything on the right hand side. So again, he's got to try and run onto that 10 ball off this 6. He needs to maybe try and get one of those 2 balls on that top rail, that 3 or the 10, and possibly, if he leaves an angle, use that angle to get into that cluster that's there. He could do it off the 6, he could do it off the 9. He needs to be careful with the 9 though, because there's a gap there. Could easily just run through, clip the 8 and scratch. But this is a better pace to be playing at, where you're not desperate to pot balls. LS3 should be watching and learning this. Now you see how the cue ball just ran through there. Any more pace, that could have stunned more and scratched. And well, that hasn't worked out ideal. You can pot the 8 no problem, but still got this 10 ball and 3 ball down here. They're a bit annoying. They're annoying me watching them sat there. Got to get a way to get rid of them. Now, one immediate way of doing it is potting this 10, running through, taking the 8, killing the cue ball and taking the 10. That's exactly what I'd be doing. Pot this 10, get down, take the 8 and get rid of the, or whatever the hell ball it was. It's the 10 that he wants to get rid of. And once again, perfect opportunity, draw off the 8 into the 10, get rid of either the 10 or the 3. So what have we got? We've got an ideal break ball. Well, we've got 2. We've got the 13 and the 6. So he's got those to work with. Now how's he going to get up the table to get on them? And the decision is going to be made in the next shot. Well, the next 2 shots. He takes that 12. It's now got me guessing as to whether he's going to keep the 10 ball there for a break shot. He could run in the 6, leave the cue ball more or less where the 6 ball is, and use the 10 ball from the back of the pack, which well, I never liked that as a break shot. We've seen too much calamities happen from the back of the pack. Put it this way, we've seen calamities happen in the break shots all over the place, no matter what bloody side you break from, whether it's behind or left or right side. Well, this is another one where he's having to get that pace right and get an angle. Anything but straight is what he needs. And if he wants to be sure, he's going to go up the left hand side. Perfect angle to do that. But he doesn't want to go up past that middle pocket. He's going to leave himself too straight. He needs to finish short of the middle pocket in the left. The run goes to 40, which is exactly what Fast Eddie needs. And I think that's his highest run of the tournament. Well, where's the cue ball going to end up, guys? Guess. I mean, it's just amazing, isn't it? He's fallen straight into the trap, and all because the shot choices. The shot would have been to leave the 10 ball there, because if he'd get rid of the 10 ball and the 3 ball earlier on in the rack, he wouldn't have had that problem. And then he ended up having to play the 10 to get to the 6. And had he played the 6 and used the 10 as a break ball at the back of the pack, he would have never scratched. And so the run ends on 40, and it could have been a lot more. And that break ball was sitting there waiting for LS3, and LS3 is off and running, although she's not got an awful lot of choices here. The 10 ball goes, the 15, that 13, the orange one, just up from the cue ball, it goes, no problem. And all the balls are sitting pretty good. Even that 11 and 12 don't need to be touched. All you need to do is get rid of the blocking ball, which is the 8. So this is a perfect chance for LS3 to take all of these, reduce the deficit, and then build on it. And I think she might have tried to get on that 8 ball there, but it's just come out too far. Now, she could run the 13 up the table and still leave herself on the 8 ball. That would have been one option, but it's a blocking ball, it needs to go. And this is what I talk about with all the disciplines that you want to be using when you're at the table, and blocking balls one of them. Get rid of them. Don't want to be leaving them to the last minute. So that now opens up those 2 balls there. Perfect opportunity from the 1 ball to get on them, but the 1 ball is a break ball, and it's also now a blocking ball for the 12. So there's a dilemma here. Now, if you've caught the 2 or something and left yourself there, you can get rid of that and nudge out the 12. And this is a chance to do that shot if you wanted. If you're determined to keep the 1 ball as the break ball, and let's be honest, that's favourite, then you have to leave that cue ball in such a way that you can pot the 11, which you can, and nudge that 12. Excuse me. And that's created another problem. Needed to be nudged a wee bit more. Now, is that 3-9 set as a combo? Let's have a look. Yeah, she'll get that with one eye closed. and that takes care of the issue. However, she's landed herself in trouble because the only ball on, I think, let's have a quick shifty, it's going to have to be the cut on the 13. And of course the other problem is this cut means she might be in danger of nudging the 1 here, like that, so that's achieved nothing. So now she's back to square one, and
Deist Nomad.
it's going to
Hotman
have to
honest
be...
answer, did you have Hugh's stream on during your last match for tactical advice?
It's going to have to be one of these balls at the back of the bunch. Is Potman still awake? Well, this is certainly
Hotman
going to nudge.
66. I had it on but muted when I was at the table.
We don't know what's going to happen here. This could wreck the whole setup.
66. Another error, lol.
I mean, these balls could end up everywhere, these two remaining balls after this hit. That needs to bounce, that 3 ball. Well, what do you do now? It's going to take a cracking shot to pot the 3 and get this cue ball somewhere down here like this, or like this, to be able to play the break. The problem with the ball as it's sitting is you can't play a break shot from here because you can't see it for the pack. That's the problem. So I think it's take the money and run. I mean, the obvious thing is if you can get the cue ball down behind the pack, at least if you can't get a good break shot, you can get a good safety. So that's where you have to resign yourself to taking what you've got, keeping it nice and tight, and not doing anything stupid. Now that's going to be too low, I think. And this is what I'm talking about. Do you take the big risk here, or do you just push that 12 ball to the rail into the table and just stun the cue ball to the back of the pack? Because that's the easiest safety shot you've got. And when you start pushing the boat out like this just to keep a run going, okay, you're a hero if you get it, but
Hotman 66.
it's a big risk.
I've had the stream on in other matches. It's too distracting and the stream is slightly out of sync to real time.
Yep. Well, she's brave. She's got the pot, and she's got the reward as well because she's got a shot. Or has she? Yeah, 1 ball. And don't forget, Fast Eddie's run of 40 was all over with the scratch, and this is a result from Fast Eddie's scratch. And the immediate target for LS3 is just to get rid of that negative score. She's still trailing by what, 5? And can also deal with those balls up the table. And the other problem is the 13 ball, which is a blocking ball, although it's not a blocking ball for the 6, but it's obviously in the way of the 4. And we've got these 2 balls at the back of the pack again. The 15 ball would be a perfect ball to get on that 4 ball. And what sort of angle? Well, you can pot the 10, run into the 2, or get in behind the 2, pot it now. Might be worthwhile stunning past the 10 if you can, to try and get down for the 7. She's run into the 10. Got to be careful here, too close to the rail, so there's nothing much you can do with the cue ball, but trying to run through possibly for the 13, although the 1's there, the 13 would be the one to take, and try and run into that 8 and 7. Well, it's going to be another route. It's a 15 and run through for the 8 or 7, but 13 ball remains, and that 13 ball could have got, look at this, that's crazy. Oh well, goodness me, that cue ball was almost gone. But I'll tell you something, it's going to have to be another good cut, and look at that middle pocket waiting for the scratch. I think evasive action's needed here, because if this is plain ball it may well go close. Yep, she's digging down to draw away from it to avoid the scratch, and now it's going to have to be another little fiddly cut on the 13, and it's got to be dead weight because you want to get on that left side of the 7. Just let it run behind the 7 out the other side, and that's gone way up. Well, I don't know, I presume she played for the 4 because she's hit it way too hard, and it's going to be through and bounce, but not too straight. No, that'll do. Now watch the cue ball. Big stun. And that'll do. So the run goes to 30, and LS3 is now 7 in front with more to come, and that one goes, that's ideal because that's going to open these ones up. Well, a wee bit more aggression there might have done better. And this is fiddly. Could also run into the 10 and 2 off this 12 and found a gap. Well, there's going to be one opportunity to get behind either of these 4 balls that we're looking at, the 2, the 10, the 13 and the 11, and the one opportunity is off the 15 ball. There could be another opportunity off the 6 or the 3. But I don't think, you know, that these balls are too tight. But I think if you look at the 11 and 13, they don't need to be touched, but the 11 ball wants to be kept as a break ball, and that 6 ball now, a nice stun into the 2 and 10 will deal with that issue. Got to hit the 2 and 10 off this, can't miss it. Well, that's worked out fine. The nudge onto the 11 and the 13's kept the 11 where it is. So all of the problems have gone. The only other problem's that 8 ball. That's an annoyance where it's sitting, because that's tight to the rail pretty much. In fact, it is half a millimetre off the rail, so that's got to go into this bottom left hand corner pocket. and that's going to be dealt with next. Roll in the 14 and get straightish on this 8 ball to get rid of it. Now there's a wee bit angle in this, but it's a good enough one just to draw back. The other shot now is just a little roll through for the 2 and then the 15, and as long as there's an angle, it'll be probably 2 rails to get out for the 11. It could be 2 rails back the way. No, it's going to be forward and inside, and that is perfect. The pace in that shot was well controlled, and so the run is 43, and this has all come from Fast Eddie's scratch, and the lead is now 20. So 8 ball, 10 ball, 6 ball. Now how brave is Ellie? Oh, you can't get the 6 anyway. I was going to say how brave is she going to be, but that 6 ball is, well, it's tight, but I think she can get to the 6, and that would open those balls up. And if that cue ball had just slowed up there, the angle on that 3 would have been just as good. But the angle on the 3, I think it just ended up too straight. "15 cuts," and again it's a blocking ball, so get rid of that. And well, I'm trying to see, I mean, the 1 ball could be a break ball, but it's a blocking ball from this side, and then of course you get that cluster of 3 next to the 6. This is not shaping up too good at the moment. If it was possible, the shot would still be to get on that 6 some way and cut it into that middle pocket as we look, and then run into those 3 balls. And now let's have a look at the 2. Yeah, it's a nasty little angle to have to cut the 6, but the only other way would be getting rid of the 1 and forfeiting the break ball and getting high on the right hand side for the 6 to still break these balls, and we're running out of balls again. Now this is a 2-in-1 shot. It's a nasty cut in the 1. In fact, it's too nasty looking at it from this side, but had it been better, she could have cut the 1 in and ran around to that other side to play for like the 5 or the 6, and ideally getting on the 6 would have allowed the break into those 3 balls. It's going to have to be done off the 5. Now that will do. It's better than nothing, but I think she's going to have to take that 1 ball, because that's probably the only time you're going to get on it to be able to pot it. That 1 goes from there, and it goes from there. It's got to go. It looks tight, but it will go, because you can cheat that pocket. She's going round the other side for safety's sake. That 6 ball is in the triangle. 13 balls there, and of course it's going to disappear in a minute once the cannon's made off the one. So there's doubts as to whether there's going to be anything good in order to break this pack. And well, I don't know, but that looks as if it's encroaching in it from here. We'll soon find out. There we go. So the run is 57, and there's an angle off that short rail on the top, left rail on the side, and into the pack. It's got to be plenty of pace though. Oh, she stunned it into the corner. She should have let that run. And the run ends on 58. And that's suitable enough punishment for Fast Eddie's scratch on his run of 40. And so LS3 has built up a healthy lead, 73 points to 38. And that is a satisfactory visit there for LS3. 58 is a pretty good punishment for the error. And now Fast Eddie is chasing. There's a little gap between the 1 and the 9. And
He has it 50.
It would have been an opportunity.
I knew you didn't have it on yours cause you ignored tactical advice.
Just to actually scratch off that, or scrape off the side of the 5 and get up the table. That little gap between the 1 and the 9 means that it's a much safer shot if you end up here. Just to skim off that 5 and get down there. You see how that I mean, obviously those 4 balls are more or less together, the 5, the 7, the 10 and the 1, but that gap between the 1 and the 9 means it's a much safer shot to run up the table. And Fast Eddie has got the perfect shot now. I punished Alvin
yesterday with a 61. He then punished me with 86 and 50-ish. We're all naughty.
And again, it just amazes me how people don't want to get up the table. They don't want to get away from the pack. Get distance between the cue ball and the pack. Oh, I'm starting to yawn, and the reason I'm starting to yawn is I had something to eat, and it's right in the middle of the afternoon again where I usually have a nap. I usually fall asleep in front of the telly. Well, this looks like sacrificing a point here.
Hotman 66. I gotta go see the chiropractor in a bit, so GL to has V semi.
Well, this match may well still be on when Hazard's match with semi-pro starts. We've got an hour and 10 minutes to go, and Fast Eddie getting a ball to a rail has now created a problem for LS3. Very awkward queuing to get to that. Is that the 11 ball that's up the table? But you can easily line up that 11 ball for a pot, jack the cue up, use your W key and line up the shaft of the cue to the cutting angle on that 11. Well, she gave it a glance here, but didn't give it much more than a glance. What's she trying here? Oh, this is a big one. And in it goes. Good little combo. And she's off and running again. That's why it's so dangerous just mucking about with the pack. It's far better getting up the table. When's people going to listen to me? Get away from the pack.
Hotman 66. I suggest you go set a room up has and get some practice.
So 15 ball. Well, again, surprisingly she didn't play that with a bit more aggression just to get into those balls. A perfect opportunity. Got another one off the 2.
Radecki. Ya has get a room already.
So it's a 40-point lead and counting for LS3. And Fast Eddie's contribution so far in this match has been, from what I'm aware of, his high run for the tournament.
Hotman 66.
And he's
You're
going to
just
need a
getting
lot
eye
more.
fatigue here. Ya has at 50. Semi-break coming if necessary.
Another chance to just nudge them. Well, that means there may well be one chance to open those 2 balls up off this 8 ball. Well, she's going a bit further through for that shot. Can still cut the 8 and can still take it into the middle, and it's going to be a little stun. Well, that could have worked out better. That's created another problem. It's going to have to be a combo. And no guarantee that anything's going to be suitable here for the break shot. Well, it's a big draw. This is dangerous. And the cue ball ran along
Hotman 66.
that back wall of balls.
You're under no pressure has, even if you lose you're still in the thick and other side.
Well, there's a combo into the middle, which is risky, but this is even riskier, this 5 ball, because the cue ball's going to hit something here.
Ya has at 50. I'm bang up for it pot.
Well, that was too risky to be taken on, in my opinion. The combo would have been a better shot, simply because you're not running into the pack, and that's overly aggressive, and it's given Fast Eddie a free go here to eat into the deficit, and he's got to score. He's got to run this rack and get into the next one. and he's got to exact the same revenge that LS3 did to him from his mistake, and that was a very risky shot that LS3 took on there. The combo would have been the safer bet, if only just to stay at the table.
He has it 50. We've done our pre-match psychological stuff, lol.
Well, it's so easy to forget the disciplines. Like I keep saying, you have to apply the same rules in every rack, every time. And just plan ahead, plan ahead, plan ahead all the time. And you should never be relying on running balls, running and moving balls and relying to get on another ball. You should never be doing that. That should only be a last resort. You should be picking them off and stick to the rules.
Deist Nomad.
There's nothing wrong
Has
with a
won't
little
have had a
cannon.
snaky at 4 PM, so good advantage.
A little cannon here and there doesn't do any harm, but running the ball for no particular reason, you don't need to do it. You have to just move the cue ball, get
He has
yourself
it 50.
in areas
Been
of
off
choice.
the snakies for months, bro.
We've got a 4 ball as a break shot. We've got 2 balls in a triangle, the 2 balls behind the pack, the 5 on the left side, and these 2 balls, one of them is going to go now. But those 2 balls in the triangle can be taken care of by getting rid of one of these balls behind the triangle to land behind either of those 2 balls, the 14 or the 10. And I think he's dead straight on the 6, but he could just stun the 6 in and leave himself on the 8, I think, or just kill it. Just a sort of stone dead pot. If he's going to run through, well, let's see if he's playing a big draw. I don't know why though, because there goes his break shot. He could have got through that gap onto the 8 and dealt with the 2, and also have dealt with one of those balls up the table. And now he's going to be forced into either taking the 5, and he can still get in the gap for this 8. If he's thinking about what he's doing, he can come across to this left side and land on the 8. But if he's desperate, he's going to take the 4, run into these 2 balls that way,
Nomad.
and throw away his break
N1
ball.
semi is as good as smoke thin.
See, I think if you've already made that decision earlier on in the rack, you would never be taking the 4 ball there. You would have had those opportunities to get on that 8 and get behind those 2 balls, and you would have still been sitting with the 4 ball. So again, I think he's gone about that the wrong way. He's going to end up with the break ball behind the pack, probably. Could still be the 10. We'll soon know. Well, it's going to be the sort of draw stun out into the table for the 10, and the 14 will be the break shot. No, he's not risking it. So again, this is another one where it's the wrong way to get to the break ball, because you're having to run the cue ball, and you've got to get this 100% right. I still think he should have stunned across for the 10. He'd have been guaranteed by playing the easier way to get to the break shot. And now you see the problem. He's got the angle, but look at the distance. So this is a critical one. Enough room off the rail to go half a Q-tip below the equator and stun this in, but he's going to hit that pack solid on that left side. This is a must shot. Must get this. Must get back into the match from this visit. Of course, there's no shot clock when you're playing the break ball, so there's plenty of time to make sure you're lined up, you're set, and then you pull the trigger. And that's a good shot. He's got the 8 ball, no panic, and if he just runs off that side rail onto the bottom rail and up, he's got the 9. And if he doesn't get good in the 9, he's got the 14 up the table, the 6 up the table. See, he's fallen short. No panic though, because there's a bailout shot. You can go up the table into the middle of the table for the 4, just straight through. There's a big gap to get on that 4 ball, so it's just a plain and simple shot. Roll up the table and then pot in the 4. You can get rid of the 15 or the 9. Now a closer look sees that we have a break shot. We've got the 12, which is outside the pack, and if he's already decided that, then he's going to have to work all around that 12 ball, and he's got an easy ball to get on the 12. That is the 5 ball. So in this circumstance, if I'm at the table, that's the 2 balls I'm avoiding. There's also backup balls there to get on that 12. The 3 balls, one of them, the 7's another, but obviously something's got to go. Now he's called the combo. Should be fairly straightforward. Got to be careful here though. Now you could stun up the table.
Semi-Prof 4. I have been reading. Laughing face.
If he stuns up to the right, he might stun into
Hotman
the 13.
66.
He might stun into
LOL.
that 13 and he'll be on the 12. If he misses the 13, he'll be on the 11. It's just a gentle stun. Well, he's drawn backwards for no particular reason. Okay, he's kissed a ball and he's landed in the 2, but that's again not the way I would have played it. You're trying to just stun into an area to give yourself a choice. Now this is another way of doing it. But that 12 ball hasn't moved, it's still the same. That 14 will count as well. And both of them are very adjacent to the pack, so you've got to get yourself a good line to get on them. And now he's out of shape. this should be just either a brush into the 5 or a run through the gap, and he's got the 3 ball into the left middle. So again, it's just a gentle enough shot. You don't need to force anything. Play for either the cannon onto the 5, or you miss it and you go through the gap, and you'll still have the 3 as long as the pace is good. Right, he's stunned into the 5, he's still got the 3, and if he wants to, he can stun into the 7, and that'll open those 2 up, make it a lot simpler. Well, that's lucky that that 7 has bounced, because he's now back in play. We have a look at this 14 ball. The 14 ball is definitely live. It's not in the triangle, but it's tight to get on it, which is the important thing. Now you could use the 2 as well, so it's still not set in stone what way he's going to go here, but he's got 2 good nominations here for a break shot. Now if he can get good on either of these balls, he's well on to getting right back into the match. Now he's got to take the 13. Can't risk taking the 2 and running into the 14. Now that's now awkward. It's going to be a draw off the 14, up the table, and he needs to keep going. The further the better, and that will do. So once again, with this shot, because he's not glancing straight into the pack, it's got to be a rock hard stun. He doesn't want to lock onto these balls. He's got to make sure he gets lots of pace in it to get some action out of these balls, because he could easily just lie stone dead on a ball like that, and that's end of run, all because he left himself too much to do with that cue ball. And again, well, were the shot choices the right choices to get there? So the run ends on 28, but he's left it safe, and he's still trailing by 21. And LS3 sacrifices a point, but leaves it safe. And Fast Eddie should be doing the same thing. Much easier sacrificing a point than it is to just go for some half-baked safety shot and just leaving a free go for your opponent. This is a critical point in this match, because LS3 could so easily just run away here
Potman
if she gets
66.
a chance.
7 is tempting.
Well, that should never be tempting at this stage. You should be wiping all thoughts of the cutting that 7 ball out of your head for the time being. Well, the little stun on this 13 should lock the cue ball to the 6, but it looks like it's going to be the billiard off the edge of that 11. Oh, that's a cracking shot. I wish we could have replayed that, because that's actually caromed off the other ball, whatever ball it was, and that is a beautiful combo. And that's where you have to use your imagination, because that's probably getting on for one of the best shots in the tournament there, as simple as it might look. But it was a cracking shot. Being able to visualise that shot, pick the line, and in the end execute it.
Potman 66.
Thoroughly deserves anything she gets from it.
7 Eddie.
thoroughly deserves everything she gets from this visit by playing that shot. And that is a shot that a lot of professionals will play in straight pool. When they're stuck for a choice, picking out that sort of combo, catching the edge, hitting one ball to catch the edge of another ball to knock it in. But having said that, LS3 just blown herself out of the water there. That was a horrible shot in the fort. And well, Fast Eddie, how many times is he going to escape jail? Because that was a really poor effort in the fort, and all of a sudden the run ends in 6 after such a great shot to get going. She shot herself straight in the foot. And Eddie has a shot. He's also let's have a look. Well, that's nowhere near set, that 12 ball. That definitely wants to go to the jaw. So he's got work to do here. And I think right now is where he takes that opportunity. A little bit of help and spin off this 3 ball, bit of right English and a wee bit of top, but not too much. He wants to make sure he hits them and doesn't run behind them, but you can certainly make the angle to get a hit on one of those two. That's all you need. Well, he's landed okay, and well, this shot here is worthwhile playing this with a bit of top and right, just to check it off that end rail to take the 12 down the rail. Well, that's what he wants to be doing. He wants to check this, because if he hits it soft enough, well, he's gone the other way, but he certainly wants to drop onto this either the 1 or the 5 into the right middle, and he doesn't want it to be straight. I think he wants to be able to get out into the table so he can get up and get rid of the 8, because he's not got much of a window to go on that 4 ball. And the 4 ball, you want to be looking at it fairly easy. You don't want to be cutting. Now, what's he doing here? Oh goodness me, that is unforgivable. That is so bad. Yeah, well, he's saying silly, but it's just crazy why he didn't just try and roll behind. I mean, what was to stop him rolling behind the 1 or the 5 to roll it into the middle? I just don't understand people's thinking. You're here to make your life easy, not start trying to skim, spin cue balls up table. It's only going to end up in one place. Unbelievable. And he's thrown away a gilt edge chance here, because these balls are sitting perfect for a break shot, and it's just again playing into LS3's hands. Although it may well change now. If you can get the 1, she's fine. Yeah, because that leaves the 5 untouched. Well, this is another one that's going to have to go a couple of rails to get out onto the 5, unless it's a straight stun and down off the rail and up. Yep, that will do, and that's perfect. And well, Eddie, Again, I keep going back to shot choices here as to why people are failing to capitalise. And this is why I keep saying about you've got to think 3-4 shots, and you have to be clear in your mind that that's what you're going to do and stick to the rules. If you don't and you start messing about, all sorts of crap happens. And if any time you forget that discipline, that's why things just sort of mess up. You have a much higher percentage of getting things right if you stick to the rules. It's so important in trying to construct runs and trying to be competitive. And LS3 has given Eddie another chance. That is careless, that is rushed, and in a hurry to get over the finishing
Hotman
line.
66. Face mask hands.
She's sped up again, and that isn't working. So somebody needs to have a quiet word in her ear. There's no rush to get a match finished. And Fast Eddie, well, he's going to have to take the 13, I think. I mean, the 10 ball is there, but the 13 ball's a good ball to cut it and run into these two balls in the bottom rail. You're bound to be on the 3. You can't not be on the 3 ball. So an opportunity just to run into them.
Potman 66. She could have been out of sight by now.
Yeah, certainly could, but Fast Eddie at the same time could have been neck and neck had he not done some stupid things. But I'm going to sound like a broken record because there's not many people left in this tournament who are, shall we say, not favourites for the tournament, but could be an awful lot better if they applied themselves better. That's what I'm going to say. I mean, there are players left in this tournament who are not favourites, and you know, with the greatest respect to both of these people, I mean, LS3's got a high run of 94. I'm pretty certain her high run she could have a lot more solid runs if she's just stepped it down a bit and took her time and concentrated more, because there's far too many stupid mistakes as well thrown in there. And likewise for Fast Eddie, he's not favourite to win this tournament, but it could be a damn sight better in better shape if he just steadied himself. Instead of being Fast Eddie, been Steady Eddie, for those snooker fans amongst us who remember Eddie Charlton, and actually just planned ahead. It's just repetitive until it gives you a sore head, but it does work. The guys who are making runs are taking their time and they're planning ahead, and the percentage goes up greatly when you do it.
Steve 1158. Steady Eddie.
But well, this is yet another vital visit. He's got to get rid of this deficit. I think this is, to me, this is his last chance to be on a par with LS3 when we get to 3 figures. And then from then on in, it's whose nerve holds. That's what it's going to be down to. But, you know, 12 and 13 ain't going to do it here, Eddie. We've got to think about how we're going to get to that break shot. If it's going to be the 11, it's well out into the table. So you want an easier ball to get to that 11. If it's going to be the 15, well, you'll get the easiest way to get to the 15, because you're just playing a shot that's going to take you into the middle of the table. And now he's going to have to rethink that idea, if that was ever in the plan, because he's gone the wrong side of the 4, and now it's the run through, and he's
Mr. M.
got to get parallel.
Watching Steady Eddie was like watching paint dry.
He's got to get parallel. Again, he's too straight. He needed to be here. And again, he's doing the big stun, and he's going to get very little joy out of this, I don't think. He's going to be lucky to have a shot. Plenty of stun, but not enough momentum, I think, might be the case. We'll see how this works out. It might be proved wrong. But he locked up to the pack the last time, because it's a wall of balls he's getting into.
Potman 66.
Well, he's caught
Kaz Canadian.
He's caught the top of the pack there, which is the best outcome.
Potman 66. Was he?
No. Steady Eddie was.
Mr. M.
He was Australian. Eddie Charlton. And the thing about Eddie Charlton was, in case a lot of people don't know, well, if you'd never followed snooker as long as I have, the one thing about Eddie Charlton is he was a player who didn't believe in using side on the cue ball or English. He was very much a stun onto the next ball player, you know, or get there. He was very reluctant to use side on the cue ball. Well, he's taking the risk there. Is he getting any joy?
Mr. M. I forgot that.
Well, there is nothing very inviting here other than that cutting the 12. There's plenty of room for the 12.
Deist Nomad. Playing slow and steady never won Eddie shit though.
Well, Eddie got to, I think, 2 world finals. I think he got to the billiard world finals as well, once or twice, and he never won any of them. A story they keep telling in the B-bar, you know, there's a few of the older commentators keep telling the story of the tournament that I think Eddie Charlton organised in Australia back in the day, and it was a tournament where you couldn't benefit from a fluke or something, whether the ball was respotted somewhere, I can't remember, but when the tournament started, the first player that got a fluke was Eddie Charlton. Well, this is a critical shot again. Everything's critical here for Fast Eddie. He's got to get the pot. There is no other option available here.
Napnicker 99. He was Olympic swimmer as well.
He certainly was. Oh, that's not going to get there. That isn't going to get there. And it's, like I say, it's only 14. And 14 isn't enough. Because LS3 is going to be well into 3 figures, or should be, after this visit. So we are 36 minutes or so away from the winner's side match.
Nomad. Eddie is for the taking here now.
Well, there's a bit of an angle in the
Mr.
10.
M. Not only is the entertaining, it's educational as well, lol.
Well, I thought there was enough angle there in that 10 to have a good firm stun and just run into something, because it's a bit tight in that corner. But a chance now off the 8 just to run through. If you can miss the 3 but hit the rail, well, she's left a little combo, that'll do. That 12 ball has to go in anyway, even though it doesn't look as if it, it's going to go at the jaw. It's going to go in. The pockets will take anything at that pace. So where is the break shot? Well, the 6 and 5 aren't it, because they're dead in the pack, and there's nothing that is really encouraging for a break shot. So one of these balls up the table and try and get back to the rail, I would suggest, because you've got to get rid of the 3.
Afternoon all.
Good afternoon. Welcome to any other latecomers. Got to get rid of that 3 ball. Oh, where's this going to finish? Oh dear.
Johnny Laris.
That's how.
Looking forward to semis match.
That's how simple it is for things to go wrong, even with just 3 balls left on the table. So it's going to have to be the combination shot. Is the 4 going to get there? No, it hasn't. And Fast Eddie has been reprieved again. So that 6 ball, how's it sitting? It's still in the triangle. Well, he might as well just try and create something here if he gets lucky. But he doesn't want the 7 to follow the 6, follow the 4 in. And Eddie needs that 6 ball to stay adjacent to the pocket. He's got to play this dead weight to try and leave him something that he can manufacture the break from.
Robertson 2-0 up against Yan
Bingtao. That Yan Bingtao's a good player. He's an excellent player. Certainly got a big future ahead of him. And he won't get any better chance here. Cue ball catches that pack. If it doesn't hit them solid, it's going to run all over the place. Well, he's used the rails. How's his luck?
Hotman 66.
He's got a combo.
Cheers Hugh BB in an hour. Master Power. Gonna be more epic and educational when I smoke loser's side in Final K. Master Power. You'll see.
Let's have a look at that shot. It's got to be the 5-10. So just pick the line in the 5. You just need to hit half of that 10 ball with a 5. Nice and gentle. And the 10's got to go in. If you hit that any more than half ball, the 10's just going to go to the bottom rail. That's perfect pace. Okay, he's left the 4 been blocked by the 5. He's got a cut in the 3 if he wants to be brave. The 3 shot or the 3 ball would be the shot, because that again he might not get as good on that 3 to play the break on those in the cluster.
Deist Nomad.
He's got another chance
Only
off the 13.
And losers rage quit.
Maybe check the ball off the rail slightly just to square it up, but has to leave that angle. He's got to be looking at that 3 surely in order to open these up. He won't get any better chance. He's had one which was not particularly easy, but he's overhit that. I'm assuming he played for the 3, but he's overhit it by a country mile again.
Here's Spill. RPP, I sent you invites except one.
Well, he's going to have a blast off the 5. Bear in mind he's had 2 chances on that 3 ball and he's failed. So he needs some luck here. But is he going to hit the 4? Well, he's glanced into one of them.
Potman 66.
He hasn't really improved it much.
You went down in my estimation today, Stub. No need for those comments.
Well, is that you just noticing that, Potman? You must have seen plenty of comments before in tournaments long before this. Well, the cue ball did run loose, but Eddie, you should have taken the 3. The commentator's not wrong, and you got another chance. Again, he's hit it far too hard.
1158. Potman is very blinkered, K.
But he's run through in the 4, and another perfect angle to stun into them. And it's just a medium stun. He doesn't need to blast it. He's going to move something. So it's just a medium stun. Well, again, he's played that with top. He hasn't played it with stun. So it wasn't the right shot. He had to play it with stun rather than top. You don't want to be running the cue ball. You stun it into
12 paces.
So the cue ball's running far too loose here. And it's not playing to get shape. It's playing just to run into balls and hope you're on a ball. And that doesn't work, folks. It does not work. Well, he's got the 1 ball. That has to be the break
Stab
shot.
Has 0 respect, so will never be true VP legend.
Well, he'll just be remembered for being an arsehole. A good potter, but an arsehole. That's what's going to be written on his gravestone. Here lies Stub. Was a good potter, but an arsehole. R.I.P.
Master Power. Took him 3 hours to barely win, and I played like BS at 4 AM.
Well, that's your problem for agreeing to play at 4 AM. I mean, only a numpty would do that.
Master Power. He missed break ball and loosely landed safe, LOL.
Well, the amazing thing is, in this match, that Fast Eddie is only 15 points behind. That's the amazing thing. And he's got a strong likelihood he could be in front at the end of this visit.
Potman 66. Course I did, but it was more in fun or not, but calling Cobra a fucking lucky noob, LMAO. Master Power. I shoulda finished him an hour before that. That's all I'm gonna say, K. Potman 66. Stuff happens though, lucky or not.
Well, the shot to follow should be the 8, and then the 2 to roll out into the middle of the table for the 1. And now he's going to take the 2. So now it's more difficult to get good in the 1. So even that shot there wasn't the right shot for me. Had to take the 8.
Master Power.
So that he could come back and
LOL.
just roll the 2 into
Johnny
the left
Laris.
middle pocket. And
What's with all the K business?
It's so easy
Are
to
you
go on the
Manuel
1.
from Faulty Towers?
Okay. Mr. Faulty, Mr. Faulty. I know nothing. I remember all the quotes out of out of all Faulty Towers. I've seen it umpteen times. Mr. Faulty, you see this girl, he go crazy. Well, again, he's played the ball that should be his break ball.
Mr. M. K.I. from Barcelona.
and he's got to get low on this 8 ball, and he's overcut the 1, and it's all gone pear-shaped. He's scratched. Now that was destined to happen, guys. I hope Fast Eddie watches this video, because he's made a complete arse of this rack, and he played all those balls wrong. He should have listened to the commentator, and had he taken that 8 ball and rolled whatever it was, the 2 ball into the middle, he'd have been perfect. And LS3's at it again. She's rushing all over the place here, and another silly miss. And Fast Eddie, well, I've said it before
Mr.
in
M
other matches, how
is Siberian hamster.
How many invitations to the party are you going to need, Eddie? That was Basil the rat. Basil! What is it Basil says as he drags Manuel over to the counter? This, Mrs. Falky. This, Basil. This smack on head. Well, I'm not going to tempt fate here, but all of these should be Eddie's, and he should be in the lead. And LS3,
Master Power.
She wants to...
Mr. Bill, those are 7 a.m. times. He'll be in the bed or headed to work those times, K.
She wants to get her act together very rapidly. Well, 7 a.m. tomorrow isn't a problem. 7 a.m. on Thursday isn't a problem. It's 7 a.m. any other day of the week that's a problem, if it's as far as I'm concerned, for me.
Johnny Laris. I say to man in shop, is rat. He say, no, no, no. Is a special kind of hamster. Is filigree Siberian hamster. Only one in shop. He makes special price, only £5.
Well, it's anybody's guess as to where the break ball is here. 5 ball right in the middle of the pack. The 7 ball has to go if it's going to be the 1 ball,
Master
or
Power.
vice versa.
Not playing no BS times ever again, K. Mr. M. LMAO at Johnny Laris NNY.
And that's, well, moved the 1 ball down onto the bottom rail.
Radecki. Well, just schemed through that Cobra/Stub match. That's some entertainment there.
Once again, where the 1 ball sitting is not great for a break ball.
We only have 4 days. I asked you 3 times to give me, sometimes you ignored it, so I sent some.
Now let me have a look at this. Hang on a minute to get rid of that bloody menu. The reason the 1 ball's not a great break ball is because you need to get somewhere within this area to be able to play that break shot, and it has to be like that so that you can get back to the
Master
pack.
Power. I'll send my pro post tills K.
And of course the other problem is once again having to play the 12 ball and trying to draw back to leave yourself on the 1. If he overhits it, he could draw off the bottom rail back up the table and be blocked out by the pack. If he's going to take the 12, the 1 and run up the table, he's going to have to get right up that side there to be able to play the 12 and run into the pack. If he ends up over here, he's got no chance. He's going to have to go top and inside right English, and he's overhit that. Or has he? Well, that might not be bad, is it? I think he's got out of jail. He's landed pretty good. I thought he'd overhit that
Master
by a mile,
power.
but it's slowed up
No,
to
it
give
I
him a
sent
shot.
any entertainment, it's BS.
Another one as the match goes all square, 109 all. He doesn't want to let go of the shot, but he's going to hit the pack. That's a given. He's going to hit them.
Radecki. Any match you lose, stub, is pure entertainment. Winky face.
Well, that will do. He's got plenty of balls to get on. Well, this might turn the match, but it has to be said, LS3 has blown chances left, right and centre here to leave Eddie in this position. And we are 19 minutes away from the match between Semi-Pro and Hazard on the winner's side, and it more than likely will be started before this match ends, unless Eddie can keep this going. But even so, we'll probably still be at it. And what's he left himself here? I think he's found himself in the only position where he can't pot a ball. That's incredible. I mean, he can go for the 1. It's a cut down the rail.
Master power.
But that is it.
I never lost ever. If I'm not playing my best, I never lost. If I'm playing my best, I smoke all K.
Well, you can keep looking, Eddie, but it's got to be the 1 ball. The 1 ball's the only one you can get at and get the cut angle on it to pot it. And he's not grabbing the bull by the horns. He's looking to roll in behind.
Will you keep streaming, Hugh?
And play safe.
Back-to-back matches today.
Well, it probably will be the case. I mean, I was intending to kill the stream so I could rename the next stream, but that won't happen. It's all going to be in the one stream by the look of it. And Eddie, well, we're never going to know. His visit ends on 16, and he refused the cut on the 1, decided to play the safety, and meanwhile LS3 is lining up the 1 for that top left hand corner. Excellent shot. And Eddie, I think at that point in the match was maybe the time where he should have stuck his neck out and went for the cut, because there are points where you do have to dare to win, and he refused it and tried the safety, but he left enough of that 1 ball showing for LS3 to take her chance. But once again, she's ramping up the speed here. Now, might be worthwhile going forward with a wee bit of inside just to make sure you hit that 14 and 2. but she's refused it. I don't know why. The 7 goes. That's dead straight in the 5. The 6 goes, and again can stun into the 2 and the 14 off the 6 just to get a hit. Once you've moved the 6, you're bound to have some sort of shot in the 3. Not taking that opportunity to break them. And this could all go pear-shaped very quickly here. And she's dead straight in the 3 as well. Well, this time it's got to be the nudge off the 5 into these 2. And unfortunately now has to take the 13. It could have been the break ball. The 14 is now the nominated break ball, so out into the middle of the table, and this match could be over. That could have done with going up past the middle pocket. It's just a little bit more than you would like for comfort. It makes the cut that wee bit more difficult. And the cue balls run off the wall of balls. It's in play. And there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to choose from. Inside English to check the cue ball off the rail, stop it running into the 6. Now that 3 ball's got enough angle to play a firm stun and just nudge something here again. I'm pretty certain she can stun and clip something, even if it's just a 1. Well, she's run into the 10, and that has improved it. And again, it might be worthwhile spinning off the rail and trying to nudge into the 9 and 8. You'd be really unlucky not to be on something again, but refusing that one. But the 6 ball will do the same thing. Perfect angle, but don't want to run off that 8 and 9 and follow the 6 in. So it's got to be a stun. Can't go forward. Always a dangerous shot. Well, she's actually drawn that more than stunned it. And we've still got a problem. Needed a stun just to get those split open. So now we're looking for other options. And again, it's a case of running out of balls. Well, this time the 12 ball would be it, to run into the top rail and come into those from behind. Once again refusing it, but has she got enough of the 5? Yes, she has. So this time the problem's dealt with, and we've also got a break shot. However, we've got a problem ball, and the big problem is that 10 ball, because it's obviously not passing the 1, and it's so difficult to get on it, so the 1 is going to have to go. And it's going to have to be possibly the 8 as a break shot, possibly the 2, and we've run out of options here now. The cut and the 1's going to bring the cue ball back to the right. So this is going to be so difficult to get on the break ball, because that 10 ball stuck to the rail. and it might be Eddie's last chance, because this is going to be difficult to get the job done in this rack. Yep, it's going to have to be from distance, and a big draw, and look where the cue ball is, stuck to the rail, so she can't get back for the 2. She's going to have to run forward, and that's 2 straight. So if she can try and pinch a bit and go forward with right English to try and clip the pack. She's going the other way, big draw, and so the run is going to end on 27, but the lead is 25. That 9 goes. Now, who would be crazy enough to try something silly like this? Fast Eddie is. Is he going to run to the pack, or is he playing the cut? He hasn't called the 9, but the assumption is he's going for the 9. Well, I'll tell you what, this is a brave one. Yeah, and he's just shot himself right in the foot. Cue ball straight through off the pack into the corner pocket, and it's hasta la vista, baby. That was well, that was grabbing the bull by the horns at entirely the wrong time there. It was at least 70-30 or 80-20 against potting that, and even if he had potted it, he still scratched. And LS3 is not going to be far off the finishing line within the next few minutes, and that may well give me a minute or 2 just to kill the stream, get reset for the next one. So just 9 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and all the balls are there that she needs. Oh, Eddie, how many chances did you have in this match? How many times did LS3 invite you to run away with this match? And you get all those chances, and then the final nail in the coffin was that shot that should never have been played. So just 3 away. Just a little soft draw off this 10, just to hold for the 15. Well, she didn't fancy the 10 for that, so up the table. And so LS3 is going to go through on the 1 loss side to the next round, and just a roll in the 10 will give her victory by 150 points to 110. Right guys, stay with us. I'm going to kill the stream and get ready for the next one so I can get everything changed, and I will be back with you shortly.